are everywhere on earth. So I brought this here just to confirm that before Jesus Christ started his work, he's already saw and he already knew how distant we were from our divinity, from God within us. And that's why he came in to do his work. But the work of Jesus Christ was not as a work of a messenger. Okay? Or it was not the work of the one that they thought they would come. Because on this first passage here, the Pharisees keep asking Jesus Christ all the time, are you the Son of God? Are you the promised one? And he never answered that. He never answered that. And in one day episode, he said, even if I answer, you will not believe me. Because I have done so many work in my Father's name, and you still not recognize. So, they want to know. They want to know. They want to know because of the prophecies. So, Jesus Christ, on this process of evolution, when he passed through our planet, he did the work following the laws of creation. Free will. You can go into the gospel today, those who are not modified, and you're going to see there is no duality in Jesus' work or Jesus' words. He treats everybody as equal there. The Romans, the Hebrews, the Greeks, everybody. He cured prostitutes, he killed son of the soldiers, he killed the soldiers. He did everything. He did not focus on a person. He did not take sides. Even when they asked him, should we pay this tax? And he asked for the change, and he said, who's in this? And they say, it's the emperor, so give it to him what is his. So he followed exactly the law that governs us today, free will. And because as back then, because most of the people, there was respect, it was religious people. And religious people, what they wanted? They want to be the important person between the simple and God. And we see this today, right? And we see the creation on a Catholic Church of baptism, of marriage, everything. So they have the control and they are the intermediary. But in 610, between the 610 and 1870 of our era, when the papacy was consolidated after its emergency with Emperor Focus in 607 and the decree of papal infallibility. Do you know what this means? This word means? No? So it means that they wrote those three phrases. You see those phrases there? They became these three phrases here in Latin. Vicaris generalis del interes, Vicaris filii Deo, and Divix clerix, which means Vicar General of God on earth, Vicar of the Son of God, and the Prince of the Clergy. It means that everything that comes from the Pope is coming from God. You cannot argue. That's when the dogmas started. Okay? And then we see on Revelations, John foreseeing a beast. The coming is going to destroy the world. If you add this in Roman, if you add, do you know Roman? You know how to add in Roman? The letters here? If you add this, it's going to be 666. If you add again here, it's going to be 666. And you add this again, it's going to be 666. So what does this mean? It's not that the church is the beast. It's what they were going to do with the knowledge and separating us from creation. And that's what happened. So when this started, no one could argue with the Catholic Church. What they say, it's law. This is in a book of On the Way of the Light from Emmanuel and Chico Xavier. Explain this here, the vision of John seeing this beast. So, and there is a lot of people still believing that this apocalypse, this Armageddon war will start, and this already happened a long time ago. And we're still believing in these stories that keep us anchored here, that keep us separate from finding ourselves. What they wanted was that if we find yourself, you're not going to need the church. Do you need it? If you find yourself, if you really remember who you are, do you think you're going to need the church? No, you're not going to need the church. So that's the reason why all these stories have been pushed throughout the years, throughout the decades, throughout the millennium into us. And today is inside of the doctrine of Spiritism also. Because there are several books that is still compiling and believing in those stories made up. Yes. Yes. Ego. This wasn't created by evil. This was created by our own ego. I give an example today in our center. Today, if I come to you and say, listen, Wallace, I receive a message from the spirituality of the center. I think you should do this, 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 and this. Are you going to believe me? Yes.
I will.
Everybody will. Everybody will. So they use their position because of their ego, afraid that they're not going to be needed anymore. Power is a terrible thing, especially in faith. So today, even today, we see this in the Spiritism. You see in the books, you see on the centers, okay? Because we still did not understand what God is. We still do not understand what we are, and we still don't understand what we're doing here. We are lost completely. Completely lost. For example, a lot of people come to the center looking for treatment, right? Isn't it? So if I say to you, come to you and say, listen, we don't have any treatments here. But listen, I have something for you. Why don't you start meditating and find yourself? That's it? That's all I need to do? Yes, that's all I need to do. Are we going to need this here? No, we're not going to need this here. Are we going to need churches? No, we don't need it. The reason all this happened is because we are lazy with our own spirituality. Everything easy, we want it. We don't want to put the effort. So it creates this huge ground of opportunities for others to take advantage. And that's what we see today. Today, this became a huge business, and we continue following this path. Okay? Even inside of our own books. Why? I'm a medium. I've been working as a medium for many years. And I know when I'm in communication with the Spirit, if I'm not with myself, most of that communication, it's mine. It is mine. So when you read a book, okay, any book from a medium, you got to take 40% there, if it's Chico Xavier's book, okay? You take 40% of that is the medium. Is the spirits. 60% of that is the medium. And on his own words, Chico Xavier, on his Gospel of Chico Xavier, he said that 60% of my communication, I interfere. 40% comes from the Spirit. This is Chico Xavier, a guy that gave his life and effort and did everything. Now, thinking about mediums, they are only working because of a phenomenon. I believe that, we need to revise our doctrine. It needs to be revised. It needs to be done, okay? Otherwise, we're going to do exactly the same way that happens to the Catholic, to the Presbyterians, to the Jewish, and it's happening to us now. I'll give an example. Everybody knows that the Spiritism doctrine is religion, philosophy, science, right? Everybody knows this, right? But this does not exist inside the Spiritism. There is nowhere to be found in any book of the codification of Kardec. Kardec said the Spiritism is philosophy, science, with moral aspects based in Jesus' teachings. That's how it says. Another thing that was put in the Spiritism, the law of cause and effect. There is no such a thing. There is cause and effect, because when you do something, you have a responsibility on that. But it's not a law. And that's the reason why every Spiritist today believes that reincarnation is a process of pain. You're here to pay something. Something that I did in the past, I'm back here to do this and pay. Because of this law. And this law came from where? Came from the Catholics, that they believe in hell and heaven. The law of cause and effect was invented by them. If you are bad, you go to hell. If you're good, you go to heaven. And this was transferred into Spiritism. There was no such a thing on the studies of Spiritism. On a codification, there was no such a thing. And then we have thousands of books from other mediums that put in there their own point of view. And if you don't have the basis, you start believing things like we have today, right? This process of reincarnation today between in the Spiritist movement became a joke. A joke because of this. But the only law that was told there for us, we never followed and we never understood. It was the law of free will. Kardec, on the first question of the Spiritist book, what he says, when they ask, what is God? The Spirits answer, primary creation of all things and source of intelligence of the universe. That's it. So he's a source of intelligence and the source of all creation on the universe. That's what he put it there. But we never focus on this. We always focus in what? In love. God is love. God is love. Where this come from? Love is a consequence of your acts, of the exercise of your free will. If you do something related in connection to other, to help, that's love. But if you don't do anything, you have no love. Right or wrong? Now, when you put this passage here of Lucas, and Jesus Christ said, listen, I came here so you can find yourself, so you can find the God within you. What does this mean? It means that we already have everything here. Everything. If God is within us, what else do we need? Do we need anything else? Huh? Say it. Yes, we do. We need to find this God there. Because without it, we are this. Following others people's beliefs and choices. There was two paths today of evolution. The path that what we're doing here right now, right? We open a center because we have this sense of compassion. It's wonderful, this sense of compassion. It's wonderful to have a place when somebody can come in and be helped, isn't it? Isn't it wonderful? It is wonderful. But who opened this center here? See? Who opened the center? The goodwill of a group of people. Because I didn't open by myself. There was several people. Right? Did we receive an order from there? Listen, you need to open a center. No. We open because we study the words of the Master and we want to do what he did. But in the middle of this, we take a little turn because of our ego. Okay? And we use this. We use the church. We use everything else for our own pride and joy. Instead of using for connecting and re-finding ourselves and reconstructing the connection that was lost thousands of years ago. Any teachings that come from the Orient is this. You can go in any center. You can go any Buddhist center, any Hinduist center, any of this. You're not going to find nobody to help you. There was no treatment. There was nothing. Because they know this. They know that we already have everything. And the work, it needs to be done by us. But nobody wants to believe these things, that you are me and I am you. Nobody wants to believe that God is not bigger than anybody or is smaller than anybody. God is equal with everybody because I am God. So, how many times Jesus Christ said that? You can do what I do because you are what? You are God. He said, you are God. You can do what I do and much, much more. Now, the bigger of I am was added by the Catholic Church. This is my last slide right there. See? I and the Father are one. So when he said that phrase, also, it's not like that. Actually, the phrase is, I will give you my light because it is my Father's light. This is the root. And then the Pharisees got stones and tried to throw in Jesus Christ. And then he said, I have done the work of my Father and you do not recognize me. That doesn't exist on that passage, what you said. It's only that I and the Father are one. What does this mean? What does this mean? It means exactly what he said at the beginning. I am with God, and God is with me. But years has passed, thousands of years have passed, and we are so, how can I say, caught up and with the scriptures that there was social laws that we made divine. That today is very, very hard, very, very hard for us to connect with the divine inside of us, because we are always looking for what? An external. We are looking for God out there. We look, even our phrases, thank God I was able to find this job. Thank God this. Thank God that. What do you mean, thank God? We need to be thankful for the life that he gave us. That's what he gave us. But we need to do this push to reconnect to the source of life again. So, if we're gonna understand God, God is the source of life of the universe. That's why he's everywhere. But he's not going to interact with us, because that's the reason why Jesus Christ never wrote anything. He didn't do it. Hermes didn't. None of the prophets did it, the real ones. Why? Because when I write something and you believe in me, you're going to follow that as law. And there is many ways to do things. Many, many ways. And the times will change. And the way he did it back then is not going to suffice today. And that's the problem we're facing today with our own philosophy of Spiritism. We don't want to adjust the knowledge for this new consciousness. Even on the African quotes in Brazil, what if you look at the history back then, when the Catholic Church went to Africa, the Africans watch the beautiful show they used to do, the clothing, the gold, the everything, and they started copying and creating their own beliefs. Today we know, in Umbanda, we know that what they believe is Iemanjá, it's Mary, right? And only copying what they saw it. What happened? They only look an external. Only look an external. On the rituals, on this, on the clothing, nothing this matters. And the same thing happens here in Spiritism. We are focused on the phenomenon. We are focused on everything that comes from the external. I have a problem. I felt something. I'm going to go to the center. I'm going to go to do a treatment there. And what we do, and what these good spirits do, they help us. They help us. Why? Because what you're going to tell a kid that Santa Claus doesn't exist? Or you're going to wait until he grows up and understand the story of Santa Claus? That's what the good spirits does to us. Is a whole bunch of kids running around, and they do what they can because they will not interfere with our free will. They will not. We do, because we do not understand that yet. You come here to the center, we sit down with me or with anybody, we give you what? When you talk to somebody here in the center, what they give you? Advices, right? But is it not what you're coming here for? But if you're in a desperate situation And you sit down here, and somebody sits with you and say, listen, I think you have all the potential to resolve this on your own. You need no help. You have all the help you need. You're going to walk out of here cursing everybody because we stop believing ourselves. We stop searching for God because God now is easy. God is in a center. God is in a church. God is in a that. The reason this here is hard here is for us to connect again. It's for us to connect again. And connecting again, we're going to find the source of life inside of us. But again, we turn another corner here and we're using for other things. And that needs to stop. I see already lectures, people talking about Moses, talking about the Old Testament, talking about this. Everything an external. Everything out there and external. We need to stop this. We need to stop all this because it does not serve us anymore. Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead, continue. First of all, there is no such a place that said that Jesus is the governor of the planet. There is none. This was done by some medium and some spirit that brought this information to us. Look how it works. The same way, aren't we at the copy of the spiritual world? Right or wrong? So when I said that we built this here, why? Why do we put this? Why are we here? We're here to help other people and help ourselves. Actually, it's to help ourselves. It's to maintain us in check. Is this here? Because every time you come here, you return to yourself. It's a check that you do. You stay away from here, you start flowing away. That's why you need to come back. It's like a shower. You stay 3 or 4 days without a shower, you say, oh my God, I need to shower. You go there and shower, right? That's what it is this here. And the spiritual world is the same thing. These people that get together in the spiritual world are good spirits that want to do this, what we do here. Because of compassion, but it's still imperfect spirits. It's still on their own free will. They can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. Do you understand? It's not because I'm receiving a message from my spirit is 100% confirmed. Right? So that's what we need to focus. We need to have a base of understanding of creation. And from that, you filter everything that you're going to put it in. Okay? You filter. Now, on this concept of Jesus being the governor of the planet, okay, think about it. Let's just rationalize here a little bit. Do we need a governor? No, do we need a governor on this planet? Do we need it? Exactly. Why are you going to have a governor if he's not going to interfere in your free will? What is that governor for? Tell me when. So, what? Evolution? What do you mean? Do you see a governor when you plant a seed on the ground? What is making that seed grow? I understand, but you need to rationalize in there so you start thinking and acting, you're making your decisions and things that violate your own free will. If you don't take this serious, you're never going to be able to evolve. Because we keep talking about evolving. But how are you going to evolve without finding who you are? Huh? It's the same thing that you're going to go to a job. Instead, you give it. Yes, but I know. Listen, I love our master. What he done is amazing. That's the reason why we are able to exercise compassion. Okay? In the same place, we have other people on this planet that did amazing things on their own free will. Okay? We already have everything that we need, the same thing that a tree have when you plant a seed. You don't need to stay there giving posse, do you? You don't need to stay there praying on a seed. That seed, inside that seed already has the roots, the fruit, and the entire tree. So already inside there, you just need to flourish. You put in a place and it will flourish. And we are a copy of that. Remember, the Spiritism tells us that we come from the evolution how? From the plant world, and then animal world, and then individuality. There is no place in the studies that tell us that we come from the minerals. That we took from the Hindus, because the Hindus tell us that our evolution process started on the energetic level of the minerals. There is no body over there caring for this. Going back, what is God? Primary source of everything and primary source of intelligence. So everything on the universe is intelligence. If you're going to read how a planet is created, it's from the dust, the cosmic dust. But listen, when you're studying the cosmic dust, they see there is intelligence inside there. The same way is intelligence inside a cell, iron in a body. You take one cell from your liver and put it in a heart, she's going to start doing the heart job. You take that cell back from the heart and put it in the liver, she's starting doing the liver job. Is it being controlled by anybody? Who's beating your heart? Is that you? Who's making your heart beat? You see? You're vital first, that's good. But it's not you that is telling your heart, beat, 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 right? It's not you telling your liver to filter or your kidney to filter this and that. It works in its own intelligence. Right or wrong? See? So we already have everything that you need. Otherwise, we didn't have a father. Because a father that creates you and gave you life and did not give you the resource for you to walk on your own two legs is not a father. It's a mother-in-law. I'm just kidding. Understand? And that's what we need to dig into it. We need to start looking outside and start looking here. Okay? You see those big gurus in India, what they do? Now they live for 30 years, 40 years. And they only come back when they find themselves. You know why? Because when they find themselves, they understand that everybody's equal. There is no difference in people. Huh? I don't know about that. But when they come back themselves as a spirit. And that's the reason why they open these big centers and millions of people follow them without them do anything. They don't do nothing because they are what they want to teach. Exactly like Jesus Christ did. That's why he didn't need to write anything. You understand? So there was two paths. There was the path of these people they leave and they find themselves. And then the path that we do this year. We congregate, we start helping each other, but it's harder because our ego is the big blindfold that we have. And until we dissolve this ego, until we dissolve this personality, we're going to continue on this circle of reincarnation after reincarnation, reincarnation after reincarnation, reincarnation after reincarnation. Yes?
So you're kind of saying...
I'm not kind, I'm saying...
Yeah, okay. So you're saying that you think only our problem instead of running to others to help kind of own that?
No. No. Everybody needs help. Okay? Hold on. But what help, what depends what type of help you're looking for. If you find yourself, you're never going to need the help that you come here looking for. Yes. Right. But you need to, not a solution, you need to find yourself, not solution. See, solution is an external. See, you need to first start on the source. You need to find yourself first. You need to understand who you are. What are your connections? Everything that was broken and disconnecting for all these years of reincarnation, reincarnation, reincarnation. As soon as you've done that, you're going to see that you have no problem. Nothing to resolve. It's that simple. It is that simple. But it's very hard for us to find ourselves because we are so used to what? The outside. Huh? The comfort zone. The vice is the same way to take somebody out of the alcohol. It's hard. It's hard because the alcohol makes him feel good. And that's what he wants. The drug, when that person takes the drug, he just wants to feel good. And that's the reason why chemicals works when you have depression, when you have something related not to the physical. Because everything is related to this body. And today, everything that we live, everything that we do is related to this body. We walk on this planet today not having a soul. Few people today understand this process. And it's going to be very hard for us to get out of this. Because of the literature, we started the building from the top, bottom, instead of starting here. We go over there on the knowledge. We fill our head with knowledge. Everything external. Knowledge is saving the memory. What memory is going to do to you? Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. On the process of evolution, spirituality, no. Spirituality is for those who want to be spiritual. Why we don't understand that spirituality is not going to work for us. We're going to have to get tired of all this. We're going to have to get annoying of all this. You ever see those millionaires that say, listen, I don't know why I live because I already tried everything in the world. Many of them say that. when they get older, because money already gave them everything. And instead of they looking for spirituality now, what they do, they end their lives. And that's where we are right now. We need to experiment things so we understand that this is not from me. What do I want? Do I want the spirituality? Yes. I am tired of this here. This is not from me. You need to have discernment on you. Otherwise, spirituality is going to be just a hobby for you. It's not going to be something real. That's why you see in the centers, people come and go, come and go, come and go. Because the reason they are doing it is not because they want to discover themselves. It's because they got tired outside, they came here. They got some relief, now I'm going to go back there. And we are in the circle, and we keep going. So, when he says that, I and the Father are one, he meant this. Exactly what he said. I am God, God is in me, and I am in God. That's exactly what he said. And that's the path that we need to start taking. Okay? A lot of people, you guys have a good start, head start. You have the center. You have a place to come in. You have a place to sit down, to comfort yourself. You have friends that have the same ideas that you. It makes this easier to distance yourself from this control that we've been for thousands of years. Thousands of years. Yes. Mm-hmm. It does. It does. It does. So there is a lot of things. You need to understand one thing. Look, that was 2,000 years ago. He could not come in and break the ice for savages. We were savages. The same way I said, you cannot break the ice for a little kid and go to him and say, listen, there is no Santa Claus. Do you understand? You need to wait. You need to give them what they need for them to grow. As soon as they grow, you give something else. And then they grow more, you give more. You don't open the curtains wide open for people that are not ready. And that's what Jesus did. Remember, Jesus was a spirit that we know is a perfect evolution. He saw us as small kids. It's the same way you look a baby. Do you understand? And that's right, when you see something like this, it's to fit them so they understand. But many times, he was harsh. When John came in and said, listen, your family's outside waiting for you. He said, who is my family? If I say something this today here, people are going to think I'm crazy. Who is my brother? He let it a little, just a little, so we can catch on and going. But now, what we did, we catch on in a comfort zone. I go to the church, I pay my dues, I'm safe. That's why the umbrals are full of lost souls, of sleeping souls. Because we live sleeping and we die sleeping. When we put the work, the responsibility on a person, hey, what do you mean? Why do I have the center for? Why do I have the church for? Anybody else? Any other questions? Thank you very much for today. I'm going to do 4 lectures. This is going to be the first one, and I'm going to continue on the same subject until the life of Jesus Christ. Okay? So we're going to be bringing this thing forward. I know it shocks a lot of people. I know I understand, you know, it's hard. It's very hard. Very hard. But it's time for us to, you know, stop playing around. Believe in this, you know, kid stories. We need to go into what he brought to us. He didn't came here and die like an animal on a cross for us to continue praising something exterior. Come on. If we do really love this master that came in for us to help us, we need to do what he did. Not what the church, oh, Spiritism, oh, Judaism, or whatever wants us to do. We need to go into that. And it's time. It is time. Everybody here can understand that. You're gonna go in depression to find out that Jesus Christ wasn't born in Bethlehem. Oh, huh? Are you going to? Oh my God, how am I gonna do my Christmas now? Because we already know he wasn't born on the 25th of December. But we continue doing what? 25th is Christmas. My goodness, huh? Look at this. I understand, doll, I understand. That's exactly what I'm saying. We go little by little. Huh? We're going to get to that. And unfortunately, our Spiritism are going the same path. All right, guys. Thank you very much for that.